My name is Angela. Welcome to my channel. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Before I get started, I want to read my disclaimers. If you are in immediate danger, please call 911 or you can reach out to the domestic hotline at 800-799-SAFE, 800-799-7233. And for mental health resources, please reach out to NAMI at 800-950-NAMI. 800-950-6264. You can also text NAMI at 741741. With that being said, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. So today is part 2 of the stalking segment that I'm going to be doing this week. And now I'm going to go into the type of stalkers that you may encounter. So the first one is domestic stalking or stalkers, revenge stalkers, cyber stalkers, and and lust and stranger stalkings. So I listed 4. Again, domestic stalking is number 1, revenge stalking is number 2, cyber stalking is number 3, and lust or stranger stalking is number 4. So I was looking online and I came across a few stories, and I will link them below so you can look at them for yourself, but just very interesting. And I wanted to just go into some of the things that I noticed and some of the things that you can do to help yourself if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, because you have to be proactive in proving this. It falls on the burden of the victim that's being stalked to prove that they're being stalked. So and knowing that you have to be proactive. So the domestic stalker or domestic stalking, the story that I'm going to talk about is about a police officer who stalked his girlfriend. His name is Eric Paul, and he was a police sergeant with the Akron, Ohio Police Department. So she met him while she enrolled in college, and she was a student and he was a professor. So that's saying a lot right there. He was a professor and also a police sergeant, which meaning he had a lot of clout because of his profession. And so she mentions how he helped her, with some things in school, and he was married 20 years to someone and they had children, but after meeting her, he ended up divorcing his wife of, I think it was 20 or 18 years. He ended up divorcing the wife, and then they started their relationship. And she started to notice some things about this guy. She started to notice that he was a functional alcoholic, meaning that he could drink and still perform his duties. But keep in mind, he's a police officer, so he shouldn't be drinking on the job. And so she goes on to say that she just started to notice that he would text her sometimes between 200 to 500 times. So that's flag number 1. If you get so many texts from your significant other or someone that you're seeing, I would dial it back, And so it became to where he was checking on her, wanting to know where she was and things of that nature. And she just, started to take notice of this. To go farther along in a relationship, they ended up breaking up. It was his choice. He broke up with her, and she was kind of, sad by it, but she said something in her gut told her this was the right decision, so don't force it. So they so-called went their own separate ways, but what happened was he started seeing other people, and so did she. But what happened was when she started seeing someone else, the stalking started up again. He started to call her. He threatened her. He told her that if she didn't stop seeing the person that she was with, he was going to kill that person. So he told her that he wanted to be back with her. And so because she was so terrified because of his position and his abuse of power, she felt she had no other options. So she went back to this guy. And she mentioned one incident. And this is a segment, this video that I'm going to link is 3 parts to it. So, but she lists one incident around Thanksgiving, how they were back together and they didn't go to each other's homes for Thanksgiving dinner. They actually went to their own families. So he called and said he wanted to come over, and she allowed him to come over. During that time, she said he became violent, something that she had never really experienced with him. He choked her really bad. He beat her. Now keep in mind, and I didn't say this, but she has a child, and this child at the time was upstairs asleep. So he started to beat her and rape her, and the child came downstairs from the commotion and heard everything. And at that point, he stopped and told her to go get her son. So after all this was over, she took pictures the next day of what occurred. He raped her, from what she said, but she never reported that. And the reason she didn't report it is because he's a police officer and she didn't think she had a place to go. So things got worse from there, to where she had to call the police numerous of times, and they did nothing. Some of the people that came to her aid were people that were his friends. They didn't take reports. They did nothing to help her. She had a friend over, and the stalking became really bad. This friend was over with his children, so they were over and visiting each other, and he ended up calling the police, and everything just went from there. The police was called. She started filing restraining orders, but they did nothing. And so I can only imagine how she must have felt when every time I come on my channel, I stress how important it is for you to call and get help. So she did, and I'm going to go over some of the things that she could have done that most people may not know. And I know this because I've worked in law enforcement for at least 15 years. So I know the do's and don'ts and how to make things happen. So I'll share that with you. But she did what she could do, and things just kept getting worse for her. The stalking, not only was it domestic stalking, it's turned into revenge stalking. He started going after her friends and family. He started posting things about, he was sitting outside of her ex-boyfriend's homes, and how he's going to kill all of them, and how he's going to kill her and kill himself. I mean, this guy was over the top, and she could not get any help. So she did keep all the messages, and she kept all the notes, and then it finally broke. At one point, like I said, she had a restraining order. So she sent an email to the detective that was on the case and said he has broken his restraining order 4 times. So is this not an issue? And never got a response from the police officer, but later that day he was arrested and everything came to a head. So I'm glad that she made it out safely and she didn't lose her life, because she suffered the domestic stalking and the revenge stalking. So now I want to tell you some of the things that people may not know. Police have to be held accountable for what they do. So in my state, and it depends on what police agency you're dealing with, you can call the Office of Accountability. So if you go on to Google and you search the Office of Accountability, it will explain to you that this is where the police officer is made to be held accountable for his action. You know, he can't go around and terrorize people, and he can't take the law in his own hand. So that's one place to call. And then we also have, and I think this is statewide, it's called American Civil Liberties Union. So if you Google those two, you'll see, and they'll tell you step by step how to make reportings and how to handle things. And it's sad that she probably didn't even think about that. She didn't even know, because how scary is it when you call 911 or you call the, you have a police come out and tell you they're not going to file a report and they're not going to do anything. So I can only imagine. But now, and this, like I said, happened, I think it was 5 years ago. So things are being brought to the light now. I know with all the stuff that's been going on, police officers are, the worst ones are coming out, I should say, because not all police officers are bad. So it's being brought to light. It's being brought to the light, and things are going to turn around soon. So just keep in mind, you do have rights. Don't allow anyone to make you feel. Now, what I felt bad for her was because he only received 4 years, and she said that she was raped and beaten. So she took her own documents, but she never reported that she was raped by this officer. And like I said, I can understand thinking that the police are not going to do anything, but what if you ever come across a situation like that, report every incident that happened to you, because it's going to come out. Like my mother used to say, it's going to come out in the wash. So report everything. Had she reported that he had raped her, he would have got more time based on that. And then come to find out that she was not his only victim, which is common. Most stalkers don't just have one victim under their belt. They keep doing this, and this is something that's their behavior. So I'm glad she made it out, and I'm glad that he did get some time, and he's been brought to the light, and people know about this person. So now let's move on to cyber stalking. This is the internet. And I also call it bullying because, people get behind the keyboard and they say what they want, and they don't have any regards to how people feel, and they just go there. They, do certain things. But anyway, this one incident where this lady, and I will link this video down below as well. If I can remember, this happened 3 years ago. She received a friend request from somebody that she didn't know. And so, she accepted the friend request on Facebook. And that was a big mistake. When she accepted this friend request, of course, she wanted to know how this person knew of her. And he said that they were in the same class in college. So she, didn't think anything of it. They just were friends on Facebook. But his text became outrageous. He started to send videos. He started to stalk her. He started to come around, around to where she lived, and she did call the police. And because you have to prove the burden that you're being stalked by someone, they didn't seem to do too much. And I will say the state that I live in, they take this very seriously, and this is something that's not overlooked, which I'm glad to say that happens here. So, but anyway, this guy was just doing the most. He was sending videos, emails, texts, and coming around to where she started changing her appearance. And I do want to say one thing about this. She was changing her appearance, but she was still posting, or taking pictures. It looked like she was posting selfies or whatever the case may be. I'm not quite sure, and I hope she wasn't still posting that on social media, because what's the purpose of changing your appearance and trying to do things different, and this person still have access to you via social media? But all I can say about this is, again, he only got 4 years, actually served 2 years, and was told that he could never use social media again, and he could never ever contact her again, which was the same thing that happened to the person in the previous case. But with this, you have to be more proactive. Be careful who you allow on your social media. Just like you don't just open your door to regular strangers, don't open your social media to people you're not familiar with. And don't always, how on social media you can show your location. Stop doing that. That's the quickest way to have somebody come in and find you or stalk you. Stop posting where you're at. It's very important that you stop posting that, because you're just making it easier for them to, you're giving them more ammunition. You're making it easier for them to stalk you. And I'm not blaming the victim, because in reality, you should be able to post what you want with taste, that's tasteful. And as long as it's not hurting anyone, you should be able to post things in your life if you want to. But with the way things are in this world today, it's not a safe thing to do. People are crazy. People have mental issues that have never been checked. And people watch the internet from morning to the time they lay down. So you never know when somebody is watching you or looking for you. People become fascinated with people over the internet. People, you'll look at comments and certain things that you post, people will say something as if they know you. So be careful when you're posting videos. Make sure you don't put your location, stay safe as possible, because you have people out there that will do whatever it takes to defame you, to make you feel a certain way. And a lot of people can't take that stress. The defamation of character, the constant emails and text messages or things that they put online. A lot of people can't take that, and they often contemplate suicide. And I know we all heard about the big case, the federal case with Cardi B and Tasha K. She lost her case. Tasha K lost and Cardi won. And that's good, because no one should take that much time, invest in your life, and try to defame you and put all these horrible stories out there about you. So, I'm sure YouTube is going to start to be more stricter about the content that's out there. And that's a good thing, because this can be stopped if social media be made to be accountable for things that are being posted. We shouldn't be allowed to post things that's going to hurt others or make others even contemplate suicide. So now let's move on to lust and stranger stalking. And this is from people that you don't know. Sometimes you may, and these to me are the ones that are really, all of the people have mental issues, but these ones here are just really in a fantasy world. You may casually smile at somebody because you're going to a coffee shop and you see this person and you smile, just being friendly, not even meaning anything by it. And this person can take your smile. Now keep in mind, I'm not telling you to go out there and keep a mean look on your face and never smile. I'm just saying this could be one incident on how stranger stalking occurs. You could meet someone and just smile or say hi, or they can see you every day and become fascinated with you and just have all these fantasies of how it would be to be with you. So, you know, and these people, they go to, you know, certain links to find out about you. They follow you, and they just always around. They make it a point to be wherever you are. So if you ever encounter a person like this, make sure you keep all the notes, keep all the documents or gifts or whatever, but always call the police. You know, don't wait for years or two, because a true stalker is going to give you enough information for them to hang themselves within about 2 weeks. So be vigilant on keeping the information and keeping all evidence that comes your way. So with this, I do have a little story. When I was 15 or 16, I would walk to school. My school was only maybe 15 minutes away, so me and my friends would walk to school. I would meet them down the way and we would walk together. And sometimes, you know, you're just walking and you don't always catch up with the people that you normally walk with. So I wouldn't say they were like friends, but it was a group of us and we always kind of just walked together, you know. And so I didn't notice that I was being followed, but my mother noticed. She noticed before she would leave for work, she would sit down at her kitchen table and have coffee or tea. I don't think she drank. Well, she did drink coffee, but tea was her favorite drink. And so she would notice that every time I left to go to school, that the neighbor across would leave, drive. And first, I guess the first week or so, she didn't think anything of it. But she started to notice that he was always leaving and coming back like within 15 minutes. Every day he would do this. And so she just didn't, you know, she thought it was kind of odd. So she would, the way the house sit, you could see like the kitchen, and then you go down the hill, you could see me walking, and then I would walk out of sight. So she noticed the car would just leave every time, the same day, the same time that I left. And she couldn't see anything other than that. So one day she came to me, she said, I want you to watch something for me on your way to school. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, what do I need to be watching out for? And so she asked me, did I still walk with a group of people? And I said, yeah, sometimes. I said, you know, sometimes if I leave a little bit later, I may have to catch up with them. But yeah, for most of the time I do. And she said, okay. And she said, so I don't want you to be worried. She said, but I want you to watch something for me. And when you get to school, call me back and let me know. So she told me that the neighbor across the street, she said, I noticed that he leaves every time that you leave. And she said, she told me the car to be, you know, because a 15, 16-year-old person, you're not. I'm sorry for the interruption. I was saying the police officers went to his house to have a conversation with him. And needless to say, he stopped following me. He actually, within a month, moved. So just to, like I was saying, I know that sometimes it seems like the police are not going to help, but you have to stay vigilant and proactive in your own care and your own safety, so to speak. So you have to make sure you keep the notes, you keep the recordings if you're getting any, you keep the gifts, and you file a restraining order. Let that be one of the first things that you do. File a restraining order. Make sure that you don't keep this as a secret, because if you give them the ammunition to have control and that fear, they're going to use it to their advantage. So make sure that you be outspoken for yourself. I hope this is helping someone. Please remember, if you know someone that's going through this, to share my videos, like it, and subscribe. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching.